Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to start by thanking His Royal Highness Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, the Prime Minister of Bahrain, for his generous patronage of this conference. We are also honored by the presence of His Excellency Mr. Rashid Al Mi'raj, the Governor of the Central Bank of Bahrain, who is representing His Royal Highness in the inauguration ceremony. My name is Yazid Bitar. I am the Head of Corporate Communication at Trustee and member of the organizing committee, and I will be the Master of Ceremony for the next 3 days. From ancient times, it has been known as the welcoming hub and trading post on the route between East and West. It is here where the civilizations of Delman, Tylos, and Awal flourished 5,000 years ago. The land that Gilgamesh discovered in his quest for eternity. The island that embraces a mosaic of cultures and religions in natural harmony. Known as a pioneer in hosting world-class events from countless fields and industries. The Pearl of the Arabian Gulf welcomes the FAIR 25th Conference.
The Federation of Afro-Asian Insurers and Reinsurers, FAIR, was established in 1964 as one of the few intra-regional bodies that has produced real business exchanges and served as a bridge to connect Asia and Africa.
FAIR devoted special attention to the formation of pools to develop business relationships and to increase underwriting capacity and retention of members.
The Kingdom of Bahrain welcomes you all. Before I invite our speakers, may I kindly ask you to keep your mobile phones on silent. Please allow me to invite Mr. Nabil Hajjar, Chairman of the Fair 25th Bahrain Organizing Committee, to deliver the opening speech. Nabil.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Yazid. Good evening. Your Excellency, Mr. Rashid Al-Maraj, the Governor of the Central Bank of Bahrain, representative of His Royal Highness Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are honored to hold this conference under the patronage of His Royal Highness Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bahrain, represented by His Excellency Mr. Rashid Al-Maraj for this opening ceremony. On behalf of the joint organizers and the Bahrain insurance and reinsurance industry, I would like to welcome you all to Fair Bahrain 2017, the Fair 25th Conference. The patronage of His Royal Highness reflects the importance of the financial sector and in particular the insurance and reinsurance industry in Bahrain. It also demonstrates the commitments of the government to enhancing the country's economy and highlights the Kingdom's position as a regional and international reinsurance hub. Beside many regional and international reinsurers, Bahrain is also the home of two of the reputable and highly rated reinsurance companies, namely Arab Insurance Group, ARIG, and Trust International Insurance and Reinsurance Company, Trust Re. Bahrain is also the home of one of the Federation's established entities, Fair Oil and Energy Insurance Syndicate. Altogether, reinsurance companies residing in Bahrain write in total more than $1 billion in annual premium. This event is the first conference of the Federation of Afro-Asian Insurers and Reinsurers ever to take place in the Gulf region. We are proud and honored that Bahrain, our friendly island, was chosen to be the venue of this conference, which is one of the most widely attended conferences in the Afro-Asian region. Furthermore, Bahrain is a perfect destination to mix business with pleasure. So during your stay, you are invited to explore the country's rich heritage from the remains of the ancient Delman civilization and cultural cities to the modern malls, the vibrant souks, and entertainment. Our conference, which is jointly organized by the Arab Insurance Group and Trust Re, in collaboration with the Central Bank of Bahrain and the Bahrain Insurance Association, has brought together 800 insurance and reinsurance professionals from 62 countries, representing 350 companies related to this vital field of industry. They all came from the Afro-Asian region and various parts of the world. So welcome to Bahrain. Our advanced digital system marked 4,300 meeting requests during these 3 days of conference. Under the theme, Insurance Transformation in the Fairland, high-profile professional panelists, as well as in-depth debates, will provide the delegates with insights about the future of the industry and solutions to remain competitive in an increasingly volatile economic, technological, and political environment. We are also delighted to have with us this evening, courtesy of Trust Re, Mr. Michael Morrissey, the President and CEO of International Insurance Society, as the keynote speaker. Ms. Anna Maria Dulster, the Secretary General of the Geneva Association, he is here to deliver the international address. Finally, I would like to thank the sponsors: Arab Insurance Group ARIG, Trusttree, Shadidri, Bahrain Insurance Association, Crescent Global, Gulf Insurance Group, Mapfre Assistencia, Afro-Asian Assistance, Fair Non-Life Reinsurance Pool managed by Miliri in Turkey, Fair Aviation Pool managed by Société Centrale de Réassurance in Morocco, Fair Oil and Energy Insurance Syndicate managed by Trusttree in Bahrain, Fair NatCat Pool managed by GIC Re in India. Finally, we also thank the Central Bank of Bahrain for their assistance in various fronts. Thank the speakers and the panelists, media partners, volunteers, and all those who worked hard to make this event possible for their support. Wishing you all very best success and pleasant stay in the Kingdom of Bahrain.
I'm delighted now to introduce Mr. Abdurraouf Qutb, President of the Federation of Afro Insurers and Reinsurers, to say the welcome speech on behalf of the Federation.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. His Excellency, Mr. Rashid Al-Ma'raj, the Governor of the Central Bank of Bahrain, ladies and gentlemen. As President of the Fair, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the Fair Conference. Fair has always been close to my heart ever since I joined the insurance industry many years ago. As an Egyptian and with Fair's General Secretariat headquartered in Cairo, I always felt that we have an instrumental role in ensuring the continued success of this organization, and that Egypt is indeed positioned geographically and culturally to bring the two great continents of Africa and Asia closer together. Ladies and gentlemen, Fair has established itself as an effective body and a valuable platform, bringing together senior insurance and reinsurance executives across our two great continents and developing real collaboration across our industry. The conference theme this year, Insurance Transformation in Fair Land. The insurance and the reinsurance industry is facing real long-term challenges, but the technological advancements of our time bring real opportunities, and those that utilize the technology to develop their business models will be the real winners. And the Fair needs to remain innovative and relevant to its members. I thank all members for their continued support for Fair and urge them not to forget the importance and unrealized potential of this organization that could and will achieve much as long as the members dedicate their time and efforts. I am positive that the conference, through its sessions and bilateral meetings, will be a success and provide a platform for the exchange of knowledge and business cooperation. Finally, I thank the organizing committee for its excellent work and wish the Bahraini market and the Fair's new president, Mr. Yasser Baharna, a successful 2 years. Thank you very much for attention and wishing you all a successful Fair Conference.
Asking Mr. Qutb to stay on stage with us and call on the Secretary General of the Fair, Dr. Adil Munir, please, and Mr. Yasser Al-Baharna, CEO of Arab Insurance Group, ARIG, and the President of the Organizing Committee, Mr. Nabil Hajjar, for the handover of the FAIR presidency from Egypt to Bahrain. It has been a practice that the FAIR presidency is passed to the host country, where it remains for 2 years until the following conference. I think we'll be honored if His Excellency would join us as well, Mr. Rashid Al-Mi'raj. Bahrain now will be the presidency in Bahrain for 2017, 18, and 19. In Bahrain this year, we added to this custom by adding a new plaque that will remain in the host country every year, but it will be the same type from now onwards. Thank you very much. As we continuously aspire to keep our focus on the development and progress of the insurance industry, we have set up high-level speeches, discussions, and debates by global and regional experts to exchange valuable knowledge and expertise. Sponsored by Trust 3, the keynote address tonight is titled Propelling Fair Insurance Industry Through Innovation. President and CEO of the International Insurance Society, IIS, since 2009, a senior advisor to the United Nations on the insurance industry, a member of the World Economic Forum's Global Council on Insurance and Asset Management, and also a member of the Board of Directors of Selective Insurance Group. It's my pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker, Mr. Michael Morrissey.
Your Excellencies, FAIR officials and conference organizers, distinguished guests, I thank you sincerely for the honor of addressing the 25th FAIR Conference, the first in the Gulf region, and for the great pleasure of being here in Bahrain. Thank you. This organization, its member countries and companies, are clearly vital participants in the global insurance industry, and also, I want you to understand, are very important to my organization, the International Insurance Society. Some of you may not be familiar with us. I just want to say briefly, the IIS is a diverse and inclusive research and knowledge sharing organization of all industry stakeholders, life and non-life insurers, large and small, brokers and reinsurers, accountants and consultants, actuaries, asset managers, lawyers, regulators, all professionals totally dedicated to the insurance industry, and we have members in over 100 countries. To illustrate your importance to us, I want you to know that 6 of our board members are from your member countries. Yasser Al-Baharna of ARIG, one of our organization's thought leaders, and others from your member countries. Additionally, in our IIS ambassador group, which provides intelligence on regional issues around the world and helps promote the organization, 22 of our 36 IIS ambassadors are from your member countries and companies. We have members from about 35 or 36 of your countries. In other words, the IIS cares deeply about the industry in your markets and seeks advice and participation from your members. Now, with that framework and my own perspective of 46 years in the insurance industry and a variety of roles, I'd like to share a couple of thoughts with you this evening about propelling the fair industry, insurance industry through innovation. You obviously have a very impressive agenda of speakers over the next few days who will undoubtedly give you new and useful insights about innovation in fair land. Developments from both within and without the industry that will produce not merely an evolution of the way you do business, but a disruption, a transformation of your business. As I've said, I've been in this industry a long time, and I can assure you that there's never been a time of such upheaval in the industry, such a time of danger for complacent incumbents or opportunities for new ideas and processes. At times of accelerating change, incumbents can be leapfrogged, and this is such a time for insurers, especially in your markets. You will hear and learn a lot about new technologies and tools and even new business models. It's not really helpful to you for me to describe them for you, but it is worth noting that developments like the world of interconnected devices, the so-called Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning, etc., genomic research, they aren't just about reducing operating expenses. They're really about achieving a better customer experience and defining profitable growth opportunities for insurers. Now, these tech innovations all bring new insurance risks and opportunities. As was mentioned in my gracious introduction, I'm on the World Economic Forum's Insurance Steering Committee. We had a meeting in Zurich 2 weeks ago focused on mitigating risks in the innovation economy. And the point was that society will face increasingly complex and interconnected risk exposures that challenge the ability of both the public and the private sector to respond. And you're right in the middle of this, because developing resilience against the rapid buildup of risks inherent in what the World Economic Forum calls the fourth industrial revolution is perhaps the #1 challenge for the global industry, and certainly challenges that Fairland must face. I have 2 interrelated thoughts that I want to share with you as you go about planning for this rapid evolution of your business. While Fairland is not homogeneous overall, it is a set of markets that has rapidly growing economies, low insurance penetration, and youthful populations. In other words, the envy of Europe and North America, whose insurance markets are relatively saturated and slow growing. You understand, therefore, that you represent target areas for growth for major international insurers and reinsurers. Such companies, of course, bring valuable skills and services to rapidly growing markets whose infrastructures in the insurance industry are still developing. Reinsurance, both as risk management and as capital augmentation. Underwriting and actuarial expertise, just to name a few. These insurers and reinsurers provide a range of products and services to supplement the local knowledge and networks of insurers in Latin America, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, and in your part of the world. I found them to be honorable people who care about their clients and partners and have exemplary business ethics. My concern is that it's only natural for them to put their company's interests first. You naturally want to put your company's interest first and your region's interest first. I'm a great believer in partnerships, including partnerships of the type I've just been describing with international insurers. And of course, the insurers I'm referring to are important members of my organization. I really don't have any any reason at all to speak ill of them. What I do want to say, though, is that you must work hard to ensure that your distribution network, your policyholders, recognize the primacy of your relationship with them so that the long-term financial benefit is enjoyed appropriately by your companies, the originators of the business. In other words, to put it bluntly, don't be so impressed by and grateful for the support and stature of the major international insurers that you fail to develop the most robust internal systems and practices that you possibly can. I've seen entire markets develop an unhealthy long-term dependency on a few international giant companies. The more functions you outsource or cede control of, the less of a fully functioning insurance company you become, and more like a regional office of theirs over time. Now, on a positive note, the greater urgency that many in the industry have for customer centricity these days is helpful in this respect because insurers have been inspired and frankly alarmed by the dramatically better customer relationship expectations people have after interacting with the likes of Alibaba, Apple, Amazon, and so forth. The bar has been raised. Most insurers now realize that the standard for providing a high-quality customer experience isn't other insurance companies, and that existing and potential customers don't judge them just against other insurance companies. Now, this trend provides an opportunity for regional insurers to strengthen their relationships with their customers. Reinsurers or insurance partners in London or Zurich or elsewhere can never have this kind of relationship with the ultimate customers, not in the origination of the relationship, not in policy servicing, and not in the claims process. This isn't a matter of control over the customer, it's a matter of the kind of loyalty and trust that can be built with them. And so, by guarding and nurturing customer relationships, insurers in Fairyland can protect and enhance their position in their relationship with their global partners. By all means, work with these companies, but fight for the kind of relationship in which the benefits of your growing and robust market are more balanced and most beneficial to you. And now to my second point, which really flows from the first. Each and every one of the technology-driven innovations that are disrupting the industry, and each facet of building an impregnable set of customer relationships has one essential ingredient: 21st century talent. I realize that when we first think of innovation, we tend to think of the kind of shiny new things I referred to before, artificial intelligence, etc. They are undeniably important. You should consider them all, but they all have one thing in common, and that is people. People selecting the right tools to buy, people integrating them into an insurer's operations, people monitoring, evaluating, repairing, and updating them, converting data into information, and information into actionable knowledge. Now, in many respects, I realize this is obvious, but I want to suggest to you that in this time of industry transformation, of accelerating change, establishing talent development and corporate culture to be a competitive advantage would be the one innovation that could truly propel the fair insurance industry like no other. There's been a lot more talk than action in our industry about the importance of talent development. In recent years, I will admit, though, two things have happened. One, many insurers honestly have been ramping up their efforts to improve their talent pool. Second, while many young people are still seduced by the allure of careers in technology or entertainment or consulting or banking, insurance has become an interesting career path for more young people. Part of this increased appeal is the realization that our industry really does make the world a better place. Many young people today aren't just looking for a paycheck. They increasingly want a career that has a positive impact on society. One interesting example I want to share with you, one large insurance company member of ours demonstrated in their recent recruitment effort that the insurance industry plays a direct and positive role in 11 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals articulated by the United Nations. What happened? They had more students sign up for interviews and more hires than ever before. So perhaps we do have an opportunity to attract young talent more than in prior years. That's a good start. But building a competitive advantage is a multi-year process, especially now since the requirements to produce superior results include continuous learning and greater technical skills. Global best practices for optimal talent management include consideration of attracting, training, motivating, retaining, and celebrating high potential people. Mentorship programs for high potential employees are increasingly popular to accelerate the development of young stars. Some of the most progressive insurers even have reverse mentorship programs these days, where young tech-savvy workers meet regularly with senior executives to share their knowledge on things like social media. Interestingly, Inga Beale, the CEO of Lloyd's of London, has a reverse mentorship employee in their 20s that she meets with every week to learn about new developments. In this day and age, young managers not only learn from older managers, but older managers can learn from younger ones as well. So over the long term, in my view, having superior talent is the only dependable competitive advantage, the only way to recognize and capitalize on innovation opportunities. Think of the billions of dollars worth of computer equipment purchased by the insurance industry over the years, the latest and the best equipment on the market. Have industry expense ratios plummeted? No. Have underwriting results gotten markedly better? No. Blockchain won't make your companies perform better, nor will AI. Getting and keeping the best people will. Pay whatever it takes to attract the top graduates of the top schools. These students will be the best investment your companies ever make. Identify and track your highest potential employees and design programs to push them to excel. Become part of the global dialogue through participation in industry organizations like mine and like Anna Maria's. This can be done. I've seen it done to great effect. Use all the bright, shiny new tools you wish, by all means. But make talent development and building a strong corporate culture central to everything you do in your companies. And by the way, it can't just be accomplished at the human resources department level. It has to have the direct participation of the board and the chief executive officer. Focusing on talent and culture is the ultimate innovation strategy. One innovation might be me keeping better track of where my speech is. That would be helpful. Well, I know the rest. So as I say, technology is wonderful. You will use it to great effect. Talent development, corporate culture is the only truly sustainable competitive advantage you can build for your companies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Morrissey. Thanks for the advice. Trust 3 is also honored to present to you the Secretary General of the Geneva Association, Ms. Anna Maria Dalster. Before joining the Geneva Association, she was responsible for insurance practice at Swissquant Group, a technology company. She established and developed life insurance company, Baloise Life. She is a member of the Executive Committee of the European Insurance Association, and she is also a principal at the Boston Consulting Group, leading banking and insurance projects in Germany and the United States. It is our pleasure to invite Ms. Anna to speak to us tonight.
Your Excellencies, fellow delegates, distinguished guests, it is an honor and a privilege for me to be here today with you and to speak at the 25th FAIR conference here in Bahrain. Today, I want to give you an insight into what the Geneva Association is and also share with you some of the work that we have done and that is relevant for the insurance industry in mid- and low-income countries. The Geneva Association is a bit special. It has two characteristics. First of all, we are not an association of companies, but we're an association of persons. Our members are 81 CEOs of the large global and international insurers and reinsurers. And Fadi Abu Nal of Trust Re is one of our estimated members. Secondly, what we do is we do research on topics that are of relevance for the insurance industry everywhere in the world. And we go out and share the insights of our research with different supranational institutions, policymakers, and regulators to educate and also to defend the interests of the insurance industry. Now, the research we do is on 4 core topics. On financial stability and regulation, here it is about what the insurance industry contributes to financial stability and to stability in financial markets and the real economy. In the program of extreme events and climate risk, we look into how the insurance industry contributes to increase resilience against extreme event and climate risk, and also recently, how the insurance industry can contribute to the transition to a low-carbon economy. In global aging, our focus is on long-term care and the risks or the challenges that ensuring long-term care brings with it in different economies. Also on the increasing longevity and on the challenges that the current basic model of life insurance is having. It's having challenges with the ongoing low interest rate in developed economies, but also with increasing longevity and especially technological evolution like genetic profiling. In cyber and innovation, which is a recent topic which is highly under scrutiny and high interest in for the moment, our work is on developing a market to ensure cyber risk. And secondly, on everything that's related to data, because data is the fuel of the digital economy. And currently a lot of regulation is in the pipeline, a lot of laws are being made on who owns the data. Should the customer own the data, or should the insurers own the data? This is a very important topic for our industry currently. And overall, we continuously look at the protection gap. It's an all-encompassing topic, which is also very relevant for your markets. We publish 2 academic peer-reviewed journals on a biannual, twice-a-year basis. Now, this is the output of some of the work we have done, where we have created an overview of the stakeholders that are relevant in the whole field of extreme event and climate risks. There are a lot of parties involved, and in order to really allow the insurance to contribute to mitigate the risks of extreme event and climate risk, we need a cooperation between these parties. Core are always the national governments. National governments set policies that allow insurers to prevent, for adaptation and mitigation of climate risks and extreme event risks. Then the United Nations. United Nations have developed 3 international frameworks that are of relevance. First of all, the International Framework on Disaster Risk Reduction. Secondly, an international framework on sustainable development goals. And thirdly, the COP21 Conference of Parties in Paris, where it was about reducing the emissions, carbon emissions. International development community is there to finance. These are the international development banks of countries like Germany, KfW, or UK, DFID. Then we have socioeconomic groupings. It can be media or everybody who is involved in that area. And then scientific and technical communities, NGOs, and the insurance industry. The insurance industry, and especially also the Geneva Association, its role is to provide, or to prevent and to adapt and mitigate climate risk, but also very much to educate the other parties about what insurance can do in the field of extreme event and climate risk. Because very often, governments, individuals, companies are not aware that insurance is a put on your assets. If you buy insurance and after an extreme event you lose your assets, insurance is there to compensate or to help building your wealth and your assets back to the level where a country, a company, or a family was before the extreme event. And it is for that reason that countries like China, when they do their economic planning, they plan the GDP, but they also plan the growth of the insurance industry with it. Now, in the field of catnet risk, there is a large protection gap in the sense that a lot of the losses that occur after a catastrophic event are not covered. Up to 70% globally, global average, 70% of economic losses after a catastrophe are not covered by insurance. There are different reasons for that. And in mid and low-income countries, the main reasons are the lack of data. Data, what kind of risks the country can be subject to, and what the impact of these risks can be. It's a lack of know-how and experience on how to work with this risk, how to do the modeling, how to predict. It is also a lack of financial education of companies, but also of families about what insurance is, what it can do, how it can help. And it is for the industry also the fact that in order to do the settlement and to provide the money to compensate for the losses, our infrastructure is still too expensive. So there's a lot of work to do. And we believe that technology can be the answer to that. Technology is a big lever to close that protection gap. Technology creates awareness. It creates awareness for families, for companies, also for governments about what insurance can do. Technology also can make insurance more appealing. You can address, with technology, you can address every single segment you want to address, every single group you want to address, with that special message that you want to give them on insurance. And then, of course, affordability. Technology reaches and can reach to a lot more people, also in rural areas. It can reach more companies than the normal agents and our normal distribution channels can. Also, for us as companies, technology helps us to speed up our processes and to reduce the cost of our processes while increasing quality with marketing, with underwriting, with administration and claims management. We have also done a study on what technology can do to reduce the protection gap. And in that study, we have here a couple of examples of companies in mid and low income countries mainly that have changed the game. They've developed a new business model that became more affordable, but also that made insurance more accessible to many people. An example, for instance, is Bima. Bima is an insurance company that sells its insurance through mobile devices. In many countries in Africa, everybody has mobile devices, and you pay for your insurance by the prepaid money that you have spent with the telecom operator. This makes insurance accessible to people in rural areas, people that you would normally, or normal distribution systems structures would not reach. Another interesting one is behavioral insurance. There is Discovery, is a company that measures the behavior that you have, and by that helps assessing the risk that you run, especially for health insurance, but also shows you how you can improve your behavior in order to reduce your risk and pay a smaller premium. Peer-to-peer insurance, Friendsurance in Germany, in a high-income market, is a concept where a group of people insure another group of people through a common platform. So it's the basic mutual insurance between groups, closed groups. And then, of course, there is the parametric insurance in the field of agriculture insurance that is much more developed and can be applied at a larger scale and much more precise by means of technology. So these are two studies that I wanted to show to you today and to present you the Geneva Association to show you what we do, and our focus is on doing research in the interest of the insurance industry and also in the interest of society as a whole. For us, it's about a win-win for the insurance and for society. The research is what we do first, and based on that research, we go out to discuss with policymakers. It is not lobbying, it is advocacy in the interest of the industry based on research. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Anna. Before closing, we would like to thank His Excellency the Governor of the Central Bank of Bahrain for the official inauguration of the conference. And again, thank of our speakers, Mr. Hajjar, Mr. Kutub, Mr. Morrissey, and Ms. Dalser. And again, we want to pay special thanks to all our sponsors and everybody that contributed to the build-up of this event. Tomorrow morning, we will start with a special and important note by Mr. Abdurrahman Al-Bakir, Executive Director, Financial Institutions Supervision, Central Bank of Bahrain, followed by a no less important presentation by our guest speaker, Mr. Cameron Murray, Head of Middle East and Africa of Lloyd's. We encourage you to also attend tomorrow's plenary sessions, Regulatory Dynamics in Fair Land at 9:30, and Digital Strategy for Insurance Product Innovation and Practical Solutions at 11:30. Thank you once again for your attention and for coming and joining us tonight. And we invite you to BIA's cocktail reception at the terrace in this area. Good night.